I'm probably sitting down at 23 foot here. You get quickly used to it. Well, we're trying to create awareness of knife crime environments really in the UK. And it all started after I made the spoon gorilla. I made out of 40,000 spoons. We were joking about using cutlery after for the sculptures, and then we actually thought that actually knife crime is a really, really big issue in the UK. So kind of went with that really. It needs to be something that's going to create the most impact. So obviously an angel would be the best thing to do really, out of knives. I've built a structure, a framework, which is the shape of the angel, and I'm going to sheet it all out of stainless steel. And as soon as I've sheeted it with stainless steel, I'm going to weld all the knives on, knives, swords, machetes, everything we've received, sideways with all the handles on. So there'll be all the different coloured handles and a really good contrast of blades for the lighting and shading. The hands, the face and the feet are going to be done really realistically, very dramatic, so the knives are going to blend into them, and it'll be open-handed, looking down, so you can imagine an angel 25 foot, looking down thinking like, why have you done this, really, to me? If you're right underneath it, you'll probably see the bottom of the hands and the face looking down at you. So I think it'll be incredible, even lit up with all the shadows. Because one hand's going to be about 60 centimetres, so they're going to be very big, and it's going to separate the piece into three, really. So underneath, I've got some very big square box section, very, very thick. So that's going to be the main spine of the angel, which holds it all together, really. And I've done a drawing on paper of a body that I wanted and the shape, and then I've just converted the millimetres on the drawing to real life centimetres for a 25 foot angel. So I've pinpointed everything really to get all the extremities of the body. And then I used this thinner bar to start shaping it, to get the proper shapes. As you can see, like, there's obviously many bits that I still need to weld here. But yeah, it's just really getting the muscles and the shapes. And after I've finished welding this, I've got to paint it with red oxide to stop the rusting underneath it. So yeah, so I think you'll see a massive difference as soon as I've finished doing all these welds, getting all the right shape. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, it'll all be sheeted in stainless steel. And that'll be when you really see the shape of it. I'm very fortunate to have a plasma cutter with me, which helps me cut everything very quickly instead of a disc cutter. So what I do is I just shape it and then I cut it. It's all in the drawings, so I can get the perfect muscle structures already, so I can put everything properly into proportion and all the right shapes. You know how far everything's going to be, and you've pinpointed everything. It's all straightforward. I've got a vague plan in my head, but obviously improvise too. The whole emotional side of it changes as you build it, and the more you go on with the project really. So you tend to add things a bit different, the gesture of the hands or the expression on the face. It's going to be about 25 foot, if not more. It depends what kind of hairstyle I'll add to it. Obviously, because it's such a big piece, we needed to send it to a structural engineer to calculate all the wind speeds and all of that. The thing is, every day in a newspaper you see somebody getting stabbed, and it's become such a normal thing that people just flick over the pages. But this will make people physically realise how many knives are out there. It's going to be so dramatic. People will take notice, and hopefully younger generations as well will realise the damage it does and create a much bigger impact, and hopefully stop using the knives. I never imagined this many knives being on the streets of the UK. London are telling us to go down every 3 weeks to collect another load. We've had a few loads from Lancashire. We just had 1 month's amnesty in Manchester, and there's about 7,000 knives there. So they just keep coming in. So this should be a really good piece to make people realise how many weapons are out there, and that something needs to be done about it. Every single city and main police station in the UK involved. So it's a national monument where everyone's part of it. The longest thing on this project is cleaning all the knives one by one, taking all the blood off and grinding them down. And we've got about 17,000 so far. It's taken me about a month to clean 12,000 knives. I thought it'd take 5,000 spoons on the grill. It took 40,000, so we're going to say 100,000. Most of the weapons arrive in tubes like this. As you can see, that's a knife with quite a fair bit of blood on, and a blood sample inside it. So they all arrive in these biohazard tubes. And yeah, we receive stuff like this in this police evidence box. Ones with fingerprints on, and so you get these massive knives, which are either made to scare people, but yeah, it's not the sort of knife you'd use to cut your food up. Yeah, machete things like this. Yeah, we've got an enormous amount of samurai swords. We've got to individually bleach them one by one, obviously to clean all the dirt and whatever's on there. And then grinding the sharp edge down. That's the idea behind this piece, is for people to understand and to realise how much it does actually happen, how much knife crime happens in the streets, and that something needs to be done about it.